10th graders, and welcome to our digital library. Today, we're going to talk about social projects and why is it important for young people to get involved in various civic engagement initiatives. You ready? Let's get started. Please have a look at the photographs that I collected especially for you. What do they all have in common? And if you look closer, you can notice that there are a lot of young people in all these photographs. They are actively engaged in various activities, and you can see how happy they look. Why? Because they're all volunteers and because they are working on some kind of social projects or civic engagement projects. For example, I'm sure all of you have heard of Hi Moldova, which is an example of nationwide campaign involving thousands of young people from all around Moldova. So Hi Moldova is a countrywide national campaign that was launched in 2011 by a group of young volunteers. A total of over 350,000 volunteers from all around Republic of Moldova participated in civic engagement initiatives organized under Hi Moldova umbrella. So let's have a look at the keywords that we need to know in order to understand the description of this initiative. So the initiative was launched in 2011. To launch means to start, to kick, or to take off. Civic engagement. The word civic refers to everything that is related to a city, municipality, or a citizen. So if a citizen is involved in an activity, it's considered to be a civic engagement activity. Speaking of engagement, engagement means active participation and involvement. And the last word is initiative. It refers to something that is being organized, which means it's a synonym for enterprise, activity, drive, motivation, adventure. So Hi Moldova is organizing a lot of smaller activities that are being implemented in various regions around the country. Some examples of these initiatives include National Cleaning Day, National Electronic Waste Day, Building Sustainable Communities, and Recycling in Moldovan Schools. I hope that you have friends that have actively engaged in at least one of these initiatives, and I hope that if you haven't done so yet, you will be seriously taking into consideration the opportunity to be part of Hi Moldova. I highly recommend it, mainly because this initiative is addressing very important issues from everyone's communities, and it offers young people the opportunity to do something important for their cities or villages all around the country. For example, you can see in this picture a few more clues regarding of what a civic engagement project would be. In these particular pictures, we can see recycling and sorting out the trash according to the labels. This particular initiative was launched by ABS Recycling, which is a company, an organization placed in Chișinău, Republic of Moldova. They aim to have a clean city. They want Chișinău to be a really clean city, and we can help them. How we can do that? The organization is planning a lot of initiatives where students, school students just like you, can go and visit their plant, their location, which is right outside of Chișinău, and you can see how the trash is being sorted out, and most importantly, what is happening to the trash after it is being collected from all around Chișinău. I myself have visited their site a few times, and to be honest, I learned a lot of new things that I didn't know about recycling. For example, I thought that plastic can be melted and turned into plastic again. Wrong. Once the plastic is melted, it cannot become another bottle of plastic. It needs to turn into something else. And there are a lot of new ways to use the recycled plastic. And so you can learn about how to correctly recycle other materials, such as glass, for instance. And the best way to do it is to visit a real plant, a real company that will tell you a lot of fun facts about recycling. Now, Hi Moldova and all these initiatives that I mentioned are part of a wider global initiative, such as World Cleanup Day. World Cleanup Day is one of the biggest civic movements of our time, including 180 countries across the world for a cleaner planet. On 19 September 2020, which is recently, the cause united 11 million environmental heroes across 166 countries despite the pandemic. Since 2018, World Cleanup Day has brought together millions of people for the bigger waste collection day in the human history. Well, that's what I call an achievement. If in one day or just in 1 week you can gather together over 11 million young people willing to make a change in their communities, then that's definitely going to change the world. Every day, in one special day, volunteers and partners worldwide come together to get rid our planet of trash. Very simple endeavor. Cleaning up litter and mismanaged waste from our beaches, rivers, forests, and streets. World Cleanup Day harnesses the power of people around the world to achieve incredible things by joining together. Its beauty lies in cooperation and collaboration, building bridges between desperate communities and including all levels of society, from citizens to business and government. Let's have a look at the key words that we need to know in order to understand the description of this interesting endeavor. So, to rid, for example, to rid our planet of trash, it means to free, to relieve, to cleanse. So all these volunteers are gathering together to rid our planet of trash, which means to free our planet of trash. Mismanaged waste. This is a compound noun, which means that if we separate mis and managed, we can guess the meaning. So mismanaged means to manage badly, incompletely, or wrongly, which means that if the waste is not collected properly or is not stored properly, we can say that it is mismanaged. To harness the power. So World Cleanup Day harnesses the power of young people. To harness means to bring under control and to direct a force. So in our situation, this event directs the force of young people and their enthusiasm towards a noble cause. Disparate communities refer to communities that are separate and divergent, which means communities that may not have many things in common, but because of the World Cleanup Day, they can get together because they probably have the same problems, the same issues that can be addressed by the young people living in those communities. Now, let's talk about another example of a civic engagement that I personally really like, and I'm going to present the Global Youth Service Day. I've been actively involving my students in this project since 2014, and we have hundreds of schools around Moldova who got interested in this initiative. Why? First of all, because the initiative is in English and it's a great opportunity for our students to practice their speaking English skills. And at the same time, it's a wonderful opportunity to collaborate with young people from other countries, mainly United States, because Global Youth Service Day is organized by Youth Service America. So Global Youth Service Day, originally launched and known as National Youth Service Day in the United States, is a coordinated annual event which voluntarily gathers young people around the world in conducting community service, service learning, and youth voice activities that benefit their communities, their countries, and as a result, the entire world. Activities are organized in more than 100 countries each April to help mark the celebrations and engage millions, making it the largest annual celebration of young volunteers in the world. And by the way, in the spring, even though we were all facing the pandemic, the Global Youth Service Day initiative was organized online. And on their official website, they posted a lot of suggestions how you can still make a change in the world, how you can still be actively involved in a volunteering activity remotely without the need to travel or to visit a physical location. We'll see about this year, but whether it's going to be in a traditional format or in an online format, I'm going to continue involving my students in the celebration of Global Youth Service Day. Now I put together two very interesting quotes that tell us a lot about what Global Youth Service Day is really about. So for example, Jane Morris Goodall, who is an English primatologist and anthropologist, said, "I often say that every individual counts, every individual has a role to play, and every individual makes a difference. Global Youth Service Day proves it." Another quote, volunteers are some of our most valued partners, and Global Youth Service Day celebrates the efforts of the youngest of them. And the author of this quote is Kofi Annan, who is known for his service as the 7th Secretary General of the United Nations. So if Kofi Annan knows about Global Youth Service Day, then that initiative is truly popular. Civic engagement or civic participation, by definition, is any individual or group activity addressing issues of public concern and promoting the quality of life of the community. Civic engagement includes communities working together or individuals working alone in both political and non-political actions to protect public values or make a change in a community. So as you can see, this definition is pretty wide, which means you can organize any activity that you are interested in, whether it's a cleanup or it's helping the elderly or it's sustaining people in need or making a campaign for a candidate that you would like to promote, someone who, for example, might be a member of the local public authorities. Maybe you would like to promote someone to become the new mayor of your city or your village. So these are just a few examples of community service. It's a pretty wide collection of good deeds that you can engage in. And now a few useful expressions related to social causes. For a good cause. If you say that something is for a good cause, you mean that it is worth doing or giving. 2, because it will help other people, for example, by raising money for charity. And I place an example here for you. As a nation, Canadians celebrate individualism, but they are always ready to pitch in for a good cause. To pitch in, it's an informal phrasal verb, and it means to join forces with others, help or cooperate. So, I'm encouraging you to join forces with your friends, with your schoolmates, with your colleagues, with the entire community for a good cause. Actions speak louder than words. This is again another very famous quote or phrase, and it is said to emphasize that what you do is more important and shows your intentions and feelings more clearly than what you say. When I was sick, my friends stepped in to help with my kids. Actions speak louder than words. Very beautiful expression. I hope you're going to use it after today's lesson. To reach out to. It means to try to communicate with a person or a group of people, usually in order to help them or involve them. For example, municipal government reached out to small business owners for their input on industry development. Right? So reach out means to connect to someone in order to find out how they feel or what they think about a specific issue. And to pay it forward, and I'm sure many of you have watched the movie that is entitled Pay It Forward, it means to respond to a person's kindness to oneself by being kind to someone else. So you don't give back, you give forward or you pay it forward. John was thankful to his tutor for all the hours she volunteered to teach him accounting. Now, he is paying it forward by helping low-income families to file their taxes. So, dear 10th graders, I hope that there will be enough opportunities for you to pay it forward, which means to help other people the way you have been helped. And now the discussion points. So I gave you a lot of wonderful examples of civic engagement, especially involving young people just like you. And my questions for you today are, have you ever volunteered? Do you think volunteers really make a change, or they're just having fun when they get engagements in various civic engagement projects? Do you think volunteering should be a mandatory activity for school students, or a compulsory activity for school students? What skills does volunteering develop? And the last question, are people who volunteer happier than people who don't volunteer? I wanted to think about these questions, and whenever you have the opportunity, to discuss them with your colleagues in one of your English classes. And the last quote that I prepared for you today, the author of this quote is a very famous American president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and he is widely famous for saying, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." And he actually said this quote when he created the Peace Corps that I'm sure you have heard of, which is an international organization placing American citizens in various parts of the world that need help with various issues. And of course, we do have Peace Corps in Republic of Moldova, and I hope that you had the opportunity to meet a few Peace Corps volunteers. So, dear 10th graders, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope that you will think of volunteering if you haven't done so, and I hope that in your school will be organized many interesting activities that will offer you various chances to become an active volunteer. Why this is important? Because volunteering doesn't just give us the satisfaction of helping others, it also helps us develop important skills that might not be developed during academic, traditional school activities and lessons. So, please be an active volunteer, engage in your community. Why not participate in Hi Moldova or Global Youth Service Day or any other initiative that responds to your interest? And I hope that this activity will definitely give you a satisfaction and at the same time help you become a more responsible citizen. Stay tuned for more interesting video lessons that we're going to place in our digital library. All the best!